Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wendigo Central. I am your host, your wonderful Vechet, your mysterious Mothreketa host. I am the one who will lead you through these tunnels, through the depths of the maze of Creepypastas. And maybe, if you are lucky enough, you could make it out alive. Although, everyone who comes in leaves with at least a few scars. Enjoy. And then remember, if you see something, Story 1. This image was taken from a split-second frame in a corrupted bootleg of the SpongeBob episode Dumped. Other than the image, the rest of the video is composed of incomprehensible jumbles of color, static, or just blank screens. The audio seems to be heavily distorted version of the audio from the original episode, with loud, droning buzzes occasionally interrupting it. The bootleg itself was found in December 2004 by a group of 5 teenagers from the city, rummaging around in a trash can within an abandoned mental institution. Of these 5 individuals, 2 have committed. 1 has gone missing. 1 refuses to comment on the tape, and the last hastily agreed to give paranormal investigators the tape shortly after being interviewed about the suicide and disappearances of the other 3 persons. The current whereabouts of the tape are unknown, but many who stare at this image for long enough claim to see SpongeBob blink. Story 2. As many know, Fallout 3 contains several in-game radio stations. The most diverse and important station is Galaxy News Radio. Many players of the evil persuasion know that you can kill Three Dog, and he will be replaced by the uninspired and frankly quite depressing technician Margaret. She is not a charismatic person and has very little to say, seeming not to enjoy her new announcing duties. She also never appears in person and therefore never can be killed. Once Third Dog is dead, you're forever stuck with Margaret. What most players do not know is that under certain circumstances, Galaxy News Radios will become a number station. A number station is a station that broadcasts an unusual coded message. Many of these exist in real life, and some hypothesize that they are a nuclear recalculation control network. Simply check Wikipedia for more information. They do relate to the real world. Back to Fallout 3. No one is really sure what actions are needed to hit a number station in Fallout 3. It appears that you must kill Three Dog, because no one has reported hitting the number station with him still alive. It also appears that you have to skip over to request Galaxy News Radio, where you help to boost the signal so that the station could be broadcast further than just the immediate DC area. This is easy enough to do with either a speech check or simply use the Fallout Wiki to look up where to go next and advance the main plot. Finally, you definitely have to destroy Raven Rock. This is the actual trigger to turn GNR into a number station, and it will remain such for the rest of the game. However, the vast majority of the players who perform these 3 actions will still continue hearing the standard GNR triggers, so there must be several more requirements the community has yet to isolate. If you're lucky enough to have it, upon the right set of circumstances, just after destroying Raven Rock, you will get the message, the radio signal lost, and about a few seconds later, the radio signal found. You cannot, however, actually listen to GNR just yet, because you didn't boost the signal in the outer range of the broadcast at the exit of the Raven Rock. Luckily, the Raven Rock is situated in the mountains and is right near one of the few places outside DC that you can get high enough to catch your signal. So far, the confirmed locations to hear the Galaxy News Radio number signal are within the immediate DC area, obviously. This is the trigger for the regular GNR throughout the game. At the top of the Ferris wheel at Point Lookout, on the tops of some SATCOM arrays you can climb in the northwestern map area. On the roof of Tenpenny Tower, though this may be within normal broadcast range anyways, feel free to play test and get back to me on this. One of the highest points in the Rooken Ridge, around Otterfu. Again, maybe within the broadcast range anyway. On some of the highest points of the mountain tops in the area near Raven Rock, this is obviously your easiest chance to first listen to the number station. When you tune in, you'll hear an old familiar voice, Three Dog, despite the fact that you have killed him. However, you will quickly notice that he does not speak in character, so I guess it's not technically Three Dog, but just the voice actor, Eric Dellums. He reads a series of numbers in a monotone, distress-sounding voice. He always recites a list of single digits between 9 and 12 characters long. For example, 9, 3, 7, 9, 1, 7, 2, 0, 3, 4, 9, 0, 9, 6. He will never use a multi-digit number like 11 or 40. These numbers are followed widely by varying lengths of Morse code. This is then followed by the song I Don't Want to See the World Set on Fire. All other music tracks seem to be inactive on the number station. The Morse code was the easiest mystery to crack, as the code is widely available and many people actually know it off by heart. We quickly had a list of great number of messages in English. Some sounded completely mundane and even comical, such as, wash the car today, maybe Chinese for dinner. Have you watched my YouTube video yet? I uploaded kicking bums in the nuts. You may be saying, but wait, YouTube doesn't exist in the Fallout universe, and you're right. As far as we can tell, all the messages sound like they were based in our reality somewhere, near present day. Some of the messages, however, are quite sinister, such as, the Queen has died today. The world mourns, as on days like these, we are all Brits. Or, I can't believe it. They've actually done it. Not long left. They just had to do it. They just had to keep pushing the boundaries of science. The noise. I can't take the noise anymore. And the light. Dear God. The universe is slowly unraveling. I'm not going to wait for death. I have a pistol in the attic. This is the only message which could not have a date found. As said, the Queen has died today. The world mourns. As on days like these we are all British. 42 of March 19th, 2014. Have you watched my YouTube video yet? I uploaded myself kicking bums in the nuts. 24th of December, 2012. I can't believe Brittany's actually won an Oscar. 2133, February 27th, 2023. I can't believe they've actually done it. Not long left. They were warned, but they just had to keep pushing the boundaries of science. The noise. I can't take the noise anymore. And the light. Dear God. The universe is slowly unraveling around us. I'm not going to wait for death. I have a pistol in the attic. This is the only message not preceded by a string of numbers. It may be worth noting that the latest date on any of the messages is the 1st of July at 1:27, 2027. Story 3. We made a lot of promises, typically after making love, when we were covered in sweat and spent from our lust. We would whisper sweet nothings. He had wrapped his arms around me and I could still feel them inside me. He pulled me close and said it. Together forever. The car slammed into a tree and pitched me forward. He was stopped from joining me by the steering wheel. I rode through the woods, whirling dervish of bruises, broken bones, and blood. I passed out, and when I awoke, I was alone. The ambulance must have seen me and left me behind. I hobbled home, my bones sucking and popping lewdly out of my wound. It took a few days, but I finally reached him. He was heavily medicated. He looked shocked to see me. It was my appearance that so profoundly impacted him. My blood had congealed on my mottled gray skin. The wounds where my bones broke through had begun to rot. A day of traveling in the hot sun has already made me bloat up with gases from decomposition. I looked almost pregnant. I was rotting from the inside out, and he was still under the influence of medication, but that wear out. I sat down next to him and I ran my putrescent and cold hand over his head. He stiffened as I leaned in close. My words rattled through my broken teeth into his ear. Together. Forever. Story 4. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day of hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. But realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed and decided to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around inside the cabin, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by several portraits, all painted in incredible detail without exception. They appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred and malice. Staring back, he grew increasingly cuddled, making a concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces, and so he turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, the hunter awoke. He turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Hello everyone, and that was 4 classic creepypastas. And honestly, these are all ones that I remember reading when I was very young. It was actually the last one that it's called The Portraits, that creeped me out the most, because I have been to many cabins, especially a certain one when I was younger. And oh my holy crap, I remember not wanting to go to that cabin, but my parents were like, "You're going to that cabin." And, I used to sleep in the main room, but ever since then I had to sleep in the basement with the bunk beds. But it was a really, really good story. Also, I would like to thank the 2 YouTubers who have inspired this for me. One of which was someone I'd actually like to work with on this, but it's never gonna happen. Hudo Hoodlums the Revenge. He's a Swedish YouTuber, and his YouTube channel will be in the description. And the other would be Kjoster, who is a smaller YouTuber, but very, very good. And it was one of his live streams, which was finding the worst creepypastas part 3. Me, Dylan, and Daniel were watching that thing, and it's kind of funny. We asked him to do the Chills voice, and I don't think he realized that it was Evan Kascinde, Chills, and Daniel Oswan in the Discord watching his stream. So essentially, Kjoster did a Chills voice for Chills. But yeah, so I would like to say thank you if you've watched this far, and if this video does well, I will do another one for more, classic creepypastas. And in all honesty, I do want to start a tradition where one, comment a word, and at the end of the video, I will say the word. Anything as long as it is not a racial slur. But I will say anything as long as it's not a racial slur, so go ham. The reason I'm doing this is because a person actually on the Tales from the Lake House Volume 1 deleted it because they thought it was stupid. Well, Clout Chaser 49, I want to say your comment was not stupid. So here it goes. Potato. The potatoes are taking over. And they will get you. Their eyes are everywhere. You can also tell me if you want to do it in a certain accent. So yeah. And to be fair, there is one other, but this was DM'd to me. So yeah. If you'd like to hear a DM'd one, I'm gonna do this one in the G-Man voice, as they have asked me.
Subscribe to Wendigo's intro, or I will give you a fine. You have no possibility of winning.
Alright everyone, so there was that. And this is the end screen. I know you'd probably want to click one of these, or you can subscribe.